Welcome back to Leaders Are Readers with your host, Doc Ant, and of course, my co host, Daniel van Zel. We have had a beautiful journey, and tonight we are doing chapter 8 of the book called The Greatest Miracle in the World by Og Mandino. It's been such a wonderful journey together, and it's exciting because there are specific things that we want to learn today, specific takeaways of action steps that we will take as a result of this chapter. So make sure to have your pencil ready, your paper ready, that you take notes of what you have to do. Daniel, take it away. Where do we start? How does the chapter start?
Awesome.
Page
Right. So
84.
in page 84. So here we are again. We ended on a slightly cliffhanger last time, or in chapter 7, because where was Simon? And right at the end, Og went back to the office and back to the letter that he received that started all this commotion for him. And he opened the letter. And this is now where we start. What was in the letter? What was in the package, or that package that he received on the bench or on his table that was lying there? So that's where we start, and to see that when he opened the letter, it says, "Dear Mr. Og." So this was direct. We can immediately see this is Simon writing to Og this letter. So tonight is like, what is in the letter? Was this the God memorandum that he said that Simon said he's gonna give, or what's in the letter? So let's find out what's in the letter.
Was nothing short of a drum roll. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. You know, he says to him, this letter will suffice. Now, let this letter
Yes.
explain what has happened because he was so befuddled. It says, during the past year, you have brought love, companionship,
Yeah.
laughter, good conversation, not to mention the immortal red geranium into the life of an old rag picker. But you know, Daniel, when I read that sentence, this is just how he starts speaking to uh,
Yes.
Og Mandino, and I thought to myself, let's just look at each one of those words. Do we have relationships in place where we feel that other people are bringing love into
Yes.
our relationship? Do we believe that the companionship actually adds value? Is there laughter? Is there good
Yes.
conversations? And then obviously the immortal red geranium was just a reminder, something visible that they could look at to say, ah, when I look at that, I remember you. But I just want to take it back to normal relationships because ultimately, this whole series, where leaders are readers, is about us improving our relationship with ourselves, with our maker, with our family, with our friends. And I really want to start by just saying it is time for us to start living that love with other people. It's start to show true companionship. And maybe there's a friend out there who's been longing to hear your voice. Maybe you just need to pick up the phone the person, say, hey, dude, how's it going? Because everybody desires a connection with a friend, to be in conversation, to be in a relationship, and yeah, just to be part of a friendship. So, Daniel, if you can think of anybody
Yeah.
that comes to your mind, is there anybody that you think you could be contacting and saying, it's time that I pick up the pieces?
Yeah, it's time of if just as you said now, is that friends, and what you're talking about here, broad love, companionship is like, we know, as I always say, you've got a lot of contacts, people, you know of people, but you don't necessarily know people. And this is like those people that you really know, that when the budget is the fan or trouble comes, then you can be sure that those people are on there. And then and as you say, we need to rekindle that when somebody's, sometimes somebody gives you that love and gives you that attention, but then we're not ready to receive that attention, and to give back that same. And sometimes, as hard as, I mean, I can speak the exact same between you guys, you and me. I mean, yes, we know each other from the companies but we never were
Connect.
true friends. Like, I
True.
mean, if you call me today, I'll be there. We never
Yeah.
were on that level. So it's like, sort of like, yes, I know you, but we don't really know each other. I mean, we don't go that, as I also say, go that extra mile.
That's right.
And yeah, and it's wonderful and loving to understand, to find those people that, is like, listen here, if push comes to shove, then yeah, this guy is gonna, he'll, in his capacity, he'll be there. whether it's just a phone call, hey, listen here, hey, I hope you're okay, or how are you doing? And yeah, I think sometimes you need to take the time and actually build relationships like that, because at the end of the time, those are the ones that matter.
Well, I would like to recommend a practical suggestion. You know, there's a good book that
Yes.
says, if you do not receive because you do not ask.
Yes.
So I want to
Yes.
say, why don't you ask your conscience and say, bring to my mind the person that you want me to connect with, even if we haven't spoken in a very long time.
Correct.
And I believe that if we ask that question and we sit and we wait and we meditate, you know what? A name will pop up. And then we are meant to contact that person and to establish or re-establish or rekindle something from the past. Because I believe that there's a person out there waiting just for your call. If you're on this call tonight, just for your call, for your connect. So that's a challenge to all of us. Listen to that good still voice that says, contact so and so. All right. I think that's
Yeah, and it's a simple process. I mean, you don't have to say much to say, hey, listen here, I ain't January, I was just thinking of you. I hope you're doing well, you and yours love, and that's about it.
correct. And if nothing
That's how you
happens,
can
nothing
start it.
happens. But you and I
Yes.
also know that there is a way, and that is that one can possibly think of sending them a little gift that will open their minds. But we will talk about that later on.
But later,
Let me
we
not
get
give
there.
that. We'll get there. Okay. And then he speaks about it. Ragpickers, by the very nature of their chosen profession, are not accustomed to being on the receiving end of life, nor is it wise to be too closely attached to those whom you desire to help. And it's true. If you want to help people, you know, be there to help them. And then he actually states and it says, look at society. Everybody needs help. Teachers must be taught. Doctors must be cured. Lawyers must be defended. Comedians must be amused. But guess what? Rag pickers must be loved.
Yes.
That to me actually ministered to me, Daniel, you know, the very same way as you picked up the phone to me and you loved me at a time when I really needed it. Tonight, I get the reverse message in terms of, hey, Anne, have you ever thought of picking up the phone to Daniel and to be there for him? Just be sensitive and know that Daniel might just say, hey, Dan, how's it going? Are you really coping?
It's true.
And I think
it's true.
This is what he wants to kindle. He wants to rekindle that it's a two-way communication. Do you agree with me?
That's 100% true. And to add on to that is we human, we people, and we desire that as a human. That is one of the things that makes us human. It's that seeking of being accepted and as you say, being loved. Yeah, I think that is part of what makes us human.
And if you think about it, back to, you know, I'm part of the baby boomers, you're part of Generation X. I mean, it's a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
But I remember a time where I was craving for my dad just to say to me, "And I love you, my son." I was craving for those words because it wasn't how we were raised. It's like, but can't you see I'm providing for you? Can't you see I'm your, what do you mean I must tell you I love you?
I understand exactly where you're coming from, exactly what you mean by that. It's like they prove it by giving the things that they bestow upon you, whether it's a gift or something. But and it's also, you know, from your side, you will find it difficult to actually say the words. Correct. It's easier to just say, well, give him that present or give him that experience or whatever, instead of like actually saying it to somebody.
Yep. Well, why did you read that sentence? So one sentence that blew away my mind of what Simon Potter said to Og. Let me say it slowly. He said, in the middle of that page, 84.
Where he said, I know you have loved me as I love you.
He said it. For me, the takeaway is you can think it, but you've done nothing about it until you've said it.
Yes.
Let's take the time, and maybe it's time to there's one person that's been waiting for you for weeks, for days, for months, just to say, I love you. Because there is no deeper sentiment of expression than I love you. So I want to encourage our listeners. It is time that we don't just think it, but we act upon what we're thinking and we
do it. Yeah.
You know, I've spoken before about what I call the head, heart, hands principle. If it's in your head, the moment you drop it through your heart, you'll find the purpose. Then it goes to the hands and there's action. It moves out to other people. So that's a call tonight. Take action.
It's sort of like your hands pump it out to the world, or your heart pumps it out to the hands, and that gets it done.
Takes it to the world. That's fantastic. Okay, Daniel, then what happens? What did you do then? What did Simon then say?
Then he says it's fitting, therefore, that he bequests the master copy of the God memorandum. So this is where he says, listen here, you're to Og, basically what he's been asking for the whole time is like, are you going to give me the God memorandum? Here is the point where Og became, what's it? You know that that movie Avengers, where Thor with the hammer,
Yeah.
you know, he's worthy of picking up the hammer, so he can pick up the hammer. And I think this is where this comes in, where Simon says, okay, Og, now you are worthy of having the God memorandum. So this is where he also says, is you bestow the copy of the God memorandum. As Simon said before, you will pass it on for him to take further.
I can't help thinking of the
So it's like passing, so like passing on the baton, put it that way.
Passing on the baton, but I hear the words in my mind. With power comes great responsibility. You know,
yes.
This
Yes.
God memorandum is
Yes.
given power to Og Mandino,
Yeah.
but with it comes great responsibility. And then a specific
Correct.
way. Simon is saying to him, I want you to use it in a very, very specific way. Okay.
Yes.
So take us through. What did he say? How must you use it there on page 85?
Right. So there's a specific way in which this must be taken on. So it's sort of like you can say that it's a quest. So there's levels of you need to do this, to do this, to do this for it to work. It's like sort of a recipe. If you put the wrong ingredients into the recipe, it ain't gonna taste the same. And if you put it in the wrong way, it's also not gonna taste well.
That's why
So
he gave a little bit before he give it away. He gave a bit of a secret. They said, you know, if you really want this to work, it's all about daily, consistent application.
Consistent, yes, yes.
And it says, before you even know what to do, if you do this the right way, it will change your life. And I think for anybody listening in that decided to go on this journey, they're going to pick up this challenge. Remember, consistency is key. It's not just, yes, I'm going to do it. It's, will you really, really do it? I must say, I find that out of 4 people, 1 may truly, truly follow the real steps.
Yeah.
The others say they will do it, but they actually don't do it. I think only 25% people will do it.
Yeah, and that adds into what I said about the recipe. If you don't follow the instructions perfectly and do what it says, it's also not gonna. If it says you must cook it for 10 minutes and you go cook it for 9 minutes, it's not gonna be the same. Or if you cook it for 11 minutes instead of 10 minutes, then it's not gonna be the same. And that also there by in the middle of the page is also say, and I also believe this is where you say the God memorandum is only your ticket to a new life. It will do nothing for you unless you open your mind and your heart to receive it.
That is powerful. I mean, if you don't open your mind and your heart to receive it, nothing will happen. You know, otherwise it can just become an administrative exercise. But if you open your mind, this can change my life. If you open your heart, this will change my life. Things will happen. Okay.
And it's also it's also about what I always say about books. Books are powerful. It's like you when you read the book, it goes into your mind, so it becomes a dream. Your dreams come from your mind, but that dream will never become reality unless you practice what's said in the book. So this book, as what Og is saying, is literally listen to the words in this book, or the words in the God memorandum is but words unless you put it to work. You do the physical. If you don't do what it says, then it's just not. It won't become reality if I put it that way.
Absolutely. No, I fully agree with you there. Okay, so then he gives us 4 key steps. Step number 1. What does he say we need to do?
First, what he says is mark your day, mark this day upon your calendar. That's on the first day that you got the memorandum. You got another remember. Then count forward 100 days and mark that day. This will establish the length of your mission without the necessity of your counting each day as you live it. So it gives them a task.
Okay, so it's literally you want to say today is the day. You look at the date,
Yeah.
and
That's where you start.
start and say 100 days from now, what is that date? I can tell you, I followed that exact step. 16th
Yeah.
of May, 28th of August, it was 100% for my 100 days, because I thought to myself, if I'm going to commit to do it, I might as well do it properly. So this is our
Yeah.
invitation to people tonight, and that is to mark the date when you are ready to go to the next level. Mark the date.
Yes.
Say, I'm ready. And then go 100 days. What's the
Yeah, you
next
count
step?
100 days on and marks that. Then he says the second step is remember that he got this little rag on a pin
That's right. A small
on the
safety pin.
previous.
Yeah, that's
It
right.
says use that and then stick it onto your lapel or wherever, but wear it. And as you say, you keep it close by where you can see it. Wear your amulet on your person in a place visible to you as a constant reminder during that 100 days from your first day to what you mark. And what he says also is your pin and the rag are symbols, a sign that you are in a process of changing your life. From the pins and the rags, from basically from where you are, the failure, what you were, to where you're going to be successful.
I must be
and
honest with you.
change.
When I got that instruction, the first thought was put it on your lapel. But then I
Yeah.
thought, I can't see it. So I'll tell you what I did in my case.
Yes.
I thought to myself, I want to see it because it needs to serve as a reminder. So I put it on my computer.
Yes.
It's just there with the pin on the top of it. I look at it every single day because
Yes.
I wanted it to remind me of this is a new life, a new approach, and we need to do something about it. So that's what I did. But I think
Yeah, it's basic. There's that saying is like in the I don't know exactly the saying, but it says like basically comes down to is if you don't see it, it's not real.
correct.
So if you see it exactly as you say, you have a vision. Okay, this is what this is I see there's a little rag here on a sticky note somewhere. Oh, that is what it's for, or this is what it's for. So it keeps you reminding and keeps you in that mindset. It's like this is what I'm busy with, and keep you actually focused.
It does. So okay, for me, I made it visible. Okay.
Yes.
But point 3 that is going to come now is the most
Yes.
important point of all of them. What is that, Danny?
Yeah. And it says, do not under any conditions divulge the meaning of your amulet to those who may inquire during your 100-day mission.
So whether it's on your computer, whether it's on you as a person,
Yeah.
do not tell people what it's about. Now,
Yeah.
why? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. Why? Just do it.
You know, don't as another one of my mentors said, Jim Rowan, is I wouldn't take that class. So in other words, this is an instruction Simon gave. So we just do what he says, and it's also sort of like it breaks that. It's a level of like secrecy. It's between you and I would say the writer of the God memorandum. I mean, if you're talking about that, it's between you and God.
Absolutely.
It's not between you and the guy next door or the people. So you keep it. What's done in secret in the name of God,
Yeah,
will get your rewards.
but you see also what happens is, and I can tell you now, there's visible change in this program. People are watching you. And
Yes.
people, they don't want to hear your life is changing. They want to see that your life is changing. And I really believe that by not telling anybody, they're going to start looking at you and start thinking, there's change.
But why?
Why?
Yeah.
What's happened to this person's life? So I think it's a beautiful, I can say, reward that
Yes.
you become a visible testament to somebody else. And you are, and even if they ask, you have pledged. I'm
Yes.
sorry, for a 100-day period, I can't tell you what it's about.
And what's
That's it.
interesting about that is a sort of like, yeah, it shows you that people are noticing your change. You know exactly what's going on, but nobody else knows what's going on, or you know why you're changing. And you see people acting like, but hey, what are you wearing there? And you immediately know it's like, wow, something has changed, because they noticed this. Normally they wouldn't have noticed anything.
Correct. That's why they say, smile. It makes people
Yes.
wonder what you've been up to. Something like that. So, okay. Point one was literally mark the day
Mark your days.
and
Yes.
count 100 days. Point number
Yeah.
two was
Get
get
the rag
reminder.
and the pin
The
where you can,
amulet,
as you say, yeah, amulet, or where it's visible, and then don't tell anybody.
number three, don't tell anybody. Now, number
Why?
four. What is number four? Let's go.
This is now basically is, so now I've got the amulet, but and the God, what do I do? And this is basically what do I do? It says read the God memorandum before you retire each night for 100 nights, and then sleep in peace while the message you have read gradually seeps down into your deep mind that never sleeps. And then very important to me is let no reason or excuse force you to forego the reading for every one night, for even one night.
And the thing is, it's just, for me, it's 33 minutes, okay? Although
Yes.
that's when I listen to it, it's 33 minutes. When I read it, it's about 22 to 24 minutes, depending on how fast I read. But
Yeah.
it is that repetition. And the truth is, it becomes a daily conversation. I can tell you, Daniel, when I went for a 10K shuffle this morning, but I'm working
Shuffle.
through the information. I can't call it jogging or running. I'm calling it shuffle, but it's 10Ks at least, okay? But your mind is spending time with what
Yes.
you're dealing with. Because
Yeah.
why? Because the repetition every day is starting to cement the information into my being and is now becoming part of how I think, how I dream,
Yes.
how I talk. It is just absolutely amazing. I'm so glad I followed the steps and I'm really following through because I can now start seeing the fruit. I mean, for any person that is serious about changing their lives, follow the steps. It says do it for 100 days. Why? Don't ask questions. Just do it. I mean,
Yeah.
do the Nike thing.
It's
Just do it.
yeah, it's feeling like it feels like that switch you just switch on, and now everything's sort of starting making sense. But it's also what goes with that is before you sleep, it's goes then you read it, and when you sleep is your mind always dwells on the things you last, or your computer mind always dwells on the things you last inputted. And now you've put in the God memorandum. Now you start thinking about what's in it. Yes, it's difficult. I can't say it right now, but when we go through the memorandum, we'll speak more in depth on it. How it programs your mind to rethink.
Yes.
So everything that you do afterwards, like say now the next morning you wake up, your subconscious already run through the God memorandum as well, and that is the programming you put it in. So now it's sort of like it switches a light bulb goes on, and now your computing is a little bit different. So you get something that's maybe troubling in your life, but now you've got the programming to deal with it a little bit different. It's not going to change or wash away everything, all the crap we have in life, but it's going to help you to deal with it better, to understand it from a different point of view.
Well,
That's what I would
looking at
say.
your face, I look at your face, you're wearing glasses. For me, it's like
Yes.
a person putting on his spectacles and having a clear
Yes.
vision of
Yes.
what he
Yes.
sees. That's really what it
Yes.
does because it's
Yes.
repetition and it's in the subconscious. Now we know the
Yes.
power of subconscious. It doesn't know the difference between whether it's real or not. But if you want to change mindset, these are the principles that you literally live on a daily
Yes.
basis. And your mind will follow because your heart is entrenching what you're thinking
Yes.
about. It's
Yes.
and then there's a guarantee. And it says, then and then only find someone who, like yourself, needs help. Give them two things: your rag picker's amulet and the God memorandum. Oh,
Yes.
he make it a very, very important statement. Do not tell anybody else about this until you have passed the test. So you had
Yeah.
to wait 100 days plus before you spoke to me, Daniel.
Yeah. I had to.
That must have been hard because you know what? In that
Yes, because
feeling,
100 days is 100 days, you know.
people come up, come up, and you think about things, and you so want to care for other people and share the love and
Yes.
grow the companionship, but
Yes.
don't because you yourself have to go through the entire
Yeah.
procedure yourself. Very,
It's
very
the
powerful.
same. It's like you need to. It's like for me, it's a master class in being a rag picker. I mean,
Hmm.
if you, I mean, you've got doctor's degrees behind your name, and I mean, you didn't just get it today. Somebody, hey, you can study this, and it's like okay, now tomorrow you're a doctor. No, it took you some time. You had to go through all the processes. And the same as here, you need to go through the 100 days to become that person, to understand what it's all about, to have a deeper understanding. So now you can take that deeper understanding and then give that or pass that forward to somebody else.
You know, and the sad part is that everybody today want a microwave life.
Yes,
They want
quick
immediate
fix.
gratification, a quick fix for everything. Let's pop it in the microwave. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm one of those personality types. When let's say I put 2 minutes on microwave. When I get to 1 minute 50, it's like, hurry up, you know.
It must be done, faster, faster.
2 minutes is 2 minutes, man. Okay, so this teaches you some discipline. But you see, look at the
Yes.
dream that Simon had that he actually says there. He speaks about the dream in terms of he would like to see people encounter each other in the marketplace, in the street, in places of worship, in public, in
Schools.
conveyances, in schools. It just goes on and on and on. So he
Yes.
truly had a vision of seeing this, touching people in the world. You know, Daniel, I've been trying to buy this book for the past 2 months in multiple bookstores. I can't get the book. It's always sold out. It's always sold out. And I think this man's heart and vision is here. And that's really what is happening. Okay. Look at those three important words at the bottom of the page. Dan, I'll take us through it. For each will know that the other is embarked on the same 3 words.
Which one is it?
At the bottom of page 86.
For each will know that the others are is embarked on the same mission, same dream, and same common purpose.
That is powerful.
That's powerful.
You know,
Yeah.
I've led companies in my life, and I've led companies to great results. And I actually realized now that this recipe, same mission, same dream, same passion or purpose, is really what gets people to do things. Because you can actually get them. Why 3 things? You know, me and my numbers, I know the mission, the dream, the purpose. You know, I believe there's a big spiritual connotation for those things. And you know, with those people who've tuned in and become part of our process that have been listening. I mean, I could just, the one listener is going to definitely comment on this because she always does. She's a darling. And when she gets this, it's about the same mission, the same dream, and the same common purpose. But she's going to die that she has to wait 100 days before she can tell somebody else.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. I mean, imagine you're in your daily walks of life and you see this guy or person or lady, and they wear a pin like that. Me and you would know exactly what it's about, exactly what that person is. How easy is it going to be to create a conversation with that person?
Absolutely.
And tell them, good, congratulations on what day are you? How many days are you in?
Hang
because
in
we will know.
Yeah.
We will know.
We will. I think
And it's
fabulous.
for me. I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen somebody wearing that pin, but if I do find somebody, and I see that, I immediately will recognize it because that's the way that it's been taught, and it will be heartwarming for me to see. Right, there's somebody else that's not just only been on this or on the same journey, but learning the same things or experiencing the same wonderful things that I've experienced by going through this book and learning about the God Memorandum.
I actually realized when I got to this point of saying, can I recall? I remembered a guy in America and I remembered a guy in Nigeria. And I remembered asking them, what's that for? And they went, you'll find out one day. And I left it there.
Wow.
That I'm telling you.
Seriously.
And I left it there and I thought to myself, why? And now I know what they've been through because they were following the steps.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me those 4 steps again. Daniel, go for it. Step 1.
Step 1, mark your first day, the day you receive the God Memorandum. And then you count 100 days on and you mark that day as well. Then you take the little pin, put it on you, but do not tell people about what it is. And then number 4 is basically read the God Memorandum for 100 days, evenings, non-stop. Don't let anything stop you from doing that. That's the last thing you do before you go to bed. Brush your teeth beforehand, then you go read your God Memorandum.
Absolutely. Okay. On page 87, is there any form of wisdom there that you picked out for yourself, Daniel? Obviously, we see that he did share it with the world. What did you get?
It's basically, I would say this, the first paragraph or from the top is where Simon tells him, listen here, yes, you're going to go, basically, yes, you're going to do the God memorandum, but still, I prophesy many difficult situations ahead for you, Mr. Og. So even if you start doing the God memorandum and you think it's like, yes, this is going to change everything, just remember, you're still going to be faced with difficulties. It's not changing your difficulties. It's just changing the way you approach your difficulties, I would say, in a different way. So it's not going to solve all the problems in the world, but it's going to help people think of ways of solving those problems in a better way.
I believe it's called coping mechanisms. You will see different coping mechanisms become available to you because your source has changed. You see, there's resources and there's sources. I think that's really what will happen. I want to tell you then, I read on this page something that really got me thinking. And this is Simon saying, I leave you for now, not with sadness, but with satisfaction and joy that we came together, walked arm in arm through this brief moment of eternity. Who could ask for more? So Simon sort of announces, I leave you now. And already he's left him. I mean, because, remember, Og was...
Yeah, we was looking for him. Where's Simon?
Where? But he says, I'm leaving you. Okay? And then he says to him, remember, here's a tip. Go back to the good works. And that is, if you think of me, go sit and have a glass of sherry like they always used to have a glass of sherry together. And he says, and then just think of this old ragpicker. And I think that's what it's about, is that we actually make time to spend time thinking of the people who've come across our paths, who've made a difference in our lives, and then just to say, skull, to salute them. Yeah. It's really, really what it's about.
Because you will always see, people come around, across your path, you cross paths with people. There's always a lesson.
Always
there. Always a lesson.
Well, talking about the lesson, why don't you start landing the plane on page 88 with the wisdom of Socrates?
Mr. Socrates, an interesting one. The hour of my departure has arrived, and we go our ways. I to die, and you to live. Which is better? God only knows.
Touched my heart. That's so touched my heart. And what? I to die and you to live. What?
Yes.
Where are you going to? I can just see Og Mandino holding the book and dropping the letter. And that is exactly what happened.
Yes.
He dropped the letter. He picked up the pen and he sort of looked at it and he drew his calendar closer to actually put the dates in, because Og Mandino was a man of
immediately
action.
Took action, yes.
Immediately took action. And that was it. And he circled the 100th day. And he says, tonight before I turn off my bedside light, I would read the God memorandum.
Read them.
As he had instructed.
Yeah. Following instructions.
That's right. Follow it. But then can you give us the mind game that happened in the end with Simon? What happened to him?
Well, obviously, as question.
Yeah.
Immediately, Og was like, okay, why was I crying? Was it because Simon had left me? Was it because I had suspected too late his true identity? Or was it because I knew that my life, my dreams, my world would never be the same again, now that he had placed his hands upon them?
And that is that too late to realize his true identity.
Yes.
Because this answered my question of, hold on, how was it possible that when he went to number 21, that here was this woman standing with a baby in the arms? And
yes.
Like, dude.
In the last chapter, he was looking for him. The morgue, the police, nobody knows about, and people staying there is like, nobody knows who this Simon guy was. Never saw him.
And they've been there for 4 years, and other guys have been there for 11 years. But it explains, because Simon, in his mind, knew that he knew that he knew. There was no excuse. He went to number 21. How many times for 12 months? I mean, he knew where he was. He saw the geranium on the windowsill. There was no discussion. He knew. He hadn't lost his mind. But when he got this letter, and this in terms of, I moved on to die and you to live, he got it. So you have to work out for yourself. Who was Simon Potter? Who sent him? How did he arrive? And what was his purpose? And here's the true thing. The Creator sends people upon your path. You never know who you're entertaining. When you're entertaining people in your home, you never know. Because it was real. Og Mandino then knew that his experience was absolutely surreal, real, because it happened. He had no doubt in his mind. But it found his purpose. He had to do something with the God memorandum, and it was bequeathed to him to literally decide how will he change the world by sharing the God memorandum. So Daniel,
100%.
reading all of that, what is your takeaway for tonight? What is your, can I say, best message to our readers for tonight?
I would say it's like, go out there, get the book, read the book, and do what the book says. Follow the instructions. Sometimes a lot of times, well-meaning people in our lives give us some small little instructions, and we just glance it over. Oh, what does this guy know? But for us to follow that instructions to get what they have received. So if somebody, that's why when my mentor gave me this book, he says, just read the book, follow the instructions. He didn't tell me, we didn't have like this where somebody went through the book. I was like, first thing, well, the instruction says read it like 100 days. Okay, I'll go and read it for 100 days. Best decision I've made in my life.
Absolutely. Well, now I can tell you guys, it was Daniel van Zyl that became my ragpicker, certainly one of God's finest men.
Pleasure.
That came on earth to give me this book in my hand that I am in my process. I've been in it for 2 months already, and I'm doing my due diligence, and it's true. My life will never be the same because I'm changing. So we encourage you, get the book and follow the steps. So that's my advice for tonight. Daniel, again, thank you for being a great co-host. It's always a privilege to have you on.
Always.
And now you want to tell them the good news of who will be our guest on our next show. Go for it.
On our next show, we're going to find where I take the person who gave me this book. We're going to have him on Robert Hollis, and we're going to have a 3-way discussion. From him giving me the book and what he's learned from it, what I've learned from it, and then obviously now, and what Doc and what you learned from it. So it's basically us 3 rag pickers and newly rag pickers coming together and just telling our stories, what this book has meant for us in our life.
All I can say to you is do not miss the next input with Daniel van Zyl, myself, and the great Robert Hollis. We love you.
Awesome.
We appreciate you, and we see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.